Very good evening to all the participants. This is Arjun Reddy from Balaji Pro Academy. I hope all the participants able to hear me loud and clear. All the participants able to hear me loud and clear. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Just to introduce about myself, I'm into SAP for 13 years and from last 6 years into SAP HANA and from last 2 years into S4 HANA. So yesterday I conducted the demo session. So it's a live demo session. So in yesterday's session, I was trying to briefly explain about what is SAP HANA, S4 HANA, why SAP HANA is extremely high performance. So due to in-memory, it's a column orientation and it does massively parallel processing. So yesterday's session, when I started the session, I've taken a very simple example. Why SAP HANA S4 HANA platform is extremely high performance. So we started to discuss about the complete platform operates in memory. The complete platform operates in memory. The second reason, it's a column orientation. It is column oriented. So why column oriented DBs have extremely high performance? The reason is whenever you ask a question, it need not scan the entire table. It only goes to specific columns within the table. So in a way, when we store data in a row-oriented fashion, it scans the entire table, irrelevant of the question. But in a column orientation, it only goes to specific columns within the table because each column's data is stored in separate files, whereas in row, when you store in a row-oriented fashion, the complete data is dumped into one single file. So yesterday I was also trying to show you on system how we can access these column-oriented tables in the remote desktop. And also we were discussing about what is massively parallel processing. So in massively parallel processing, the complex programs are broken down. Just I'm trying to give you a recap of yesterday's session. Just a quick recap of yesterday's session. I'm going to continue in today's session. At the end of yesterday, I told all the participants that in today's session, we're going to discuss about the introduction to the HANA Studio and the S4 HANA. I will also discuss with the participants how we can do the data migration using SAP landscape transformation. So that's the agenda for today. But before that, just I'm giving a short recap. Probably I'm thinking there are few participants who joined today's session. Excuse me. So in massively parallel processing, the S4 HANA platform completely process in parallel processing. So how does it do parallel processing? Now these programs are broken down to smaller subsets, and each subset of a program. So I'm not writing anything on the screen as of now. So each subset of the program is assigned to different core of a CPU. So what is a core? So generally what do you mean by a core is nothing but a CPU inside a CPU. So if you have 4 cores or 4 CPUs inside one CPU, is called as quad core CPU. So in traditional SAP, when you talk about the traditional SAP, what happens is one CPU tend to process the entire program. But in the new architecture of SAP, when you have multi-core CPU, multiple cores in one CPU, what is going to happen is, now these programs are broken down to smaller subsets, and each part of the program is taken care by different cores. So what it does is parallel processing. It does massively parallel processing. So this is the basic fundamentals. So if anyone asks you the next generation platform, HANA, S4 HANA, a very simple answer. It's a in-memory, completely runs in RAM. It stores data in a column-oriented fashion and does massively parallel processing. Yesterday, I was also trying to discuss with the participants. Now, what is the difference between when you have your existing SAP systems? You have your existing SAP and non-SAP. Now that you are planning to implement the new solution, the HANA S4, the next generation in-memory, completely operates in cloud as well as on-premise. So it is the next generation platform for SAP. Excuse me, sorry for that. Now this is the source. And here you have the target. Now how are you going to transform from your old systems to the new platform? So how are we going to do this? So in order to do this, what we're going to do is, we will do data provisioning. Now what do you mean by data provisioning? What is actually data provisioning? Data provisioning means, when we say provisioning, to provision data, or you want to transform to the new system. So how are we going to transform? So there are different ways that you can transform your landscape to the new HANA S4 HANA. For an existing SAP customer, the customer who is already an existing SAP customer, or he is a non-SAP customer, how is he going to move to the new platform? So yesterday we were discussing about SLT. So what is SLT? SLT stands for SAP Landscape Transformation. SLT stands for SAP Landscape Transformation. So why are we going to use this SLT? To migrate in real time. So what you can do? You can do a real-time migration. So using SLT, you can do real-time migration. Now what do you mean by real-time? Real-time means instantly to transfer the content from SAP to SAP HANA S/4HANA, you can do at the same time. Now, SLT can do real-time data migration from source system to target system. Now you have another one called data services. Now what is data services? What is the difference between SLT and data services? Data services does in batch process. You can do it in batch. And then, now what is smart data access? When are we going to use smart data access? A smart data access is especially used when you want to connect to non-SAP systems, especially to non-SAP. Smart data access. And to SAP HANA, S/4HANA. And then the last one is we can import data using flat files. Excuse me. So you can also import data using .csv files or .excel files to HANA, S/4HANA. Okay. So until now, what am I trying to discuss? Now this approach is known as sidecar scenario. They are known as sidecar. There are more than 60,000 implementations have gone live on the HANA S/4HANA platform, and then you can expect more. By 2020, SAP expects more than 3 lakh implementations on the new and the next generation platform. So, with this regard, what I'm trying to say is, if a customer is using SAP or non-SAP, to migrate to the newer systems, we use data provisioning methods like SLT to transfer data in real time, data services for batch, smart data access, connecting to non-SAP and to SAP HANA S/4HANA, and flat files to import directly to the new platform. Now what is the next thing that you're going to do? Okay, so you migrated. What next? You create different business scenarios. Business scenarios for logistics, business scenarios for finance, business scenarios for supply chain, business scenarios for customer relationship management, different business scenarios for planning. Everything that you can do it in a new platform that is in the HANA S/4HANA platform. Now what is the next thing? Okay, so you created different business scenarios. Now how will an end user going to access? Now business will access the new platform. It has a brand new user interface, the next generation UI. It has the next generation UI, which is known as, Fury apps. So using Fury apps, what can we do? We can create a sale order, you can create a purchase order, or everything that you can do. You can configure systems, you can run programs, you can do analytics. Everything that you can do it using Fury apps. The front end, the next generation user interface, SAP Fury. And suppose say you want rich visualization. So is my pace of delivery okay for all the participants? Is the pace of delivery okay, or is it fast? Just I'm trying to give a quick recap. So do participants feel the pace is fast or okay? So can I continue with the same pace? Is it fast? I think some participants feel it is fast. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. I think most of them say it is okay, but 2 or 3 participants say it is fast. Okay, fine. So the next generation UI is SAP Fury apps. Then you have Lumira. Now what is Lumira? Lumira is self-service, rich in visualization. It's very rich in visualizing data. And then now this Lumira can also operate in cloud. It can also operate in cloud applications. Then we have Design Studio. Now what is Design Studio? Design Studio is mainly on the HTML5 runtime. Now it is mainly used to connect to iPad and iPhone. You can create different apps using the Design Studio, where the end users can use the Design Studio to connect to the backend system. And then you can also work on analysis for Office, like Excel, PowerPoint. You can connect to the backend system. Okay, so this is nothing but the sidecar scenario. And then inside SAP HANA, you'll also have S4, like logistics finance, and B4. B4 is mainly for analytics. You can generate the business analytics using the B4, and all these three complement business for their profitability. So the platform can operate in cloud, the platform can operate in on-premise. Now, please remember, whenever you would like to transfer from the old source systems to the new systems, we can use the data provisioning, create business scenarios for different applications like logistics and finance, and finally integrate to the front end. Now please see, let me log into system, click on remote desktop, click connect. Every participant will have their own user ID and password that will be provided by the backend team. So backend team will provide the user ID and password in order to log into system. So just that you need to connect to this IP address. So here is the IP address that participants can log in, and then you have all the software with the latest version, that is HANA 2.0, S4 HANA 17, and then you have B4 HANA, Lumira, Analysis for Office, ECC, MS SQL, everything, a very tightly integrated system. Now this is the participants can access using remote desktop. So every participant will have their own user ID and password that will provide by the backend team. Now let me log into the remote desktop. So to log in, what we need to do, type in RDP on the Windows-based system. If participants are using Mac, you have an app called RDP. You need to download that app and then enter the IP address, click connect, enter the user ID and the password provided by the backend team. Now I'm logging into the remote desktop. So I'm just logging into the remote desktop. So once I log into the remote desktop, so this you can access from anywhere. So this is a live demonstration. So please see, today's date is 8th, but currently I'm in Saudi Arabia. That's why you can see a different time. You can see a different time over here, but this is a live session that I'm taking today for all the participants. Okay, now, so we log into the remote desktop. So once we log into the remote desktop, how participants able to access HANA, S4 HANA using the HANA Studio. What is HANA Studio? HANA Studio is the user interface to log into HANA system. Double click on the HANA Studio. Once we double click on the HANA Studio, click OK. Now you can see when you're working on the real world landscape, you find development, quality, and production. Now, even in the HANA Studio, if you see here, I have a development system called EDB. I have another system which is HDB, which is a productive environment. Now, I would like to log into, let me right click log on. Every participant can enter the user ID best. Okay, just I would like to highlight one point. Once we are inside the remote desktop, all the participants can share the same user ID and password. The user ID is best and the password. Every system, you find any system inside the landscape, you have a common user ID and password inside the RDP. It's a single sign-on. Best, the password W capital welcome 123. So best is the username and password is W capital welcome 123. Let me go back. The username is best. Provide the password. W is the capital letter welcome 123 and click OK. So once you click OK, so now I log into HANA system. Now once we log into HANA system, now please see here. Let me show you how participants can open the data provisioning window. To open this so-called as data provisioning window, we need to click on window, click perspective, click reset perspective, click yes. Once we click yes, on your right hand side shortly you will see there is a quick view. What is quick view? Quick view is nothing but it's a place where you can access all the important options available in the new platform. So once you expand the quick view, here you can see there's a place called data provisioning. Now here you see in the data provisioning here, I've written SLT. So let us open this so-called as SLT, SAP Landscape Transformation. I'll go back, click data provisioning, select system, click finish. Once we click finish, now here participants can find a new window open called as SAP HANA Data Provisioning Editor SLT. SAP HANA Data Provisioning Editor called SLT. Now what is the use of this window and why did I open this? Now I opened this window because you see here SAP source system and HANA target schema selection. Now this system got connected to the SAP system and now we are on the target, that is SAP HANA system. Now what I would like to do here is I would like to introduce to the participants a catalog. You see there is a catalog. Now what is a catalog? A catalog is a collection of schema. In a catalog you have, it is nothing but it is a collection of schema. All these are different schemas. You see there is a schema called ABAP. So you see there is another schema called SLT. So there are so many schemas with the name called SLT. So why do you have so many schemas with the same name? Because every participant is trying to practice on how to create a configuration and how we can do the data migration. So each and every participant is creating the schema and then they're trying to perform the migration. So how did the schema create over here? So first of all, what is a catalog? A catalog is a collection of schema. What is a schema? A schema is a collection of objects like tables. One of the object is table. Let us go to the schema called best. Let us expand the schema. Let us expand the tables folder. Once you expand the tables folder, now here you see there's a table called KNA1. Click on runtime information. Once you click on runtime information, once I right click on the table, open data preview. So I think we don't have data here. Okay, let me again go back. Let us try to find for any other table. So these are all the tables that you see here. You find these are column oriented tables. The tables that you see here, all these are column oriented tables. So let me open any of the table. Double click on the table. Click on runtime information. Now you see in this table you have about 77,679 entries. Now all these entries, now where are these entries stored? In memory. And everything is a column store. You see here, all these are storing in column stores. Let us right click on the table and open data preview. Now once you click on open data preview, now here you see, now this is a column table. Now let me click on analysis. Just quickly click on analysis. Let us type in BUKRS company code ID and VB010 gross revenue. Now here you can see what is the company code ID and what is the gross revenue. So heat maps, tree maps. So the table that you see here, once you perform the migration, now these tables will start storing data in memory and these are column stores. Now let us little scroll to the top. Let us close the catalog. And here you have content. Expand the content. Now what do you have in content? Now, what do we have in content? Content is nothing but under content you have packages. What is a package? Package is used to organize business scenarios. So what can you do in a package? We can organize business scenarios. For example, you can have S4 HANA master data, S4 master. So you're trying to organize the S4 master data. Expand. So here you can see there are different, so here you can see company code master. See there is the master data called company code master. Right click on this and click data preview. So once I click on data preview, the object is inactive. So let us right click on any other object, data preview. Let me open from the productive environment. I'll just open from another productive environment. So once you right click on this, click data preview and click raw data. So here you can see there is some data with regards to customers. So basically you can create, double click on vendor, data preview. So you can see the vendor master. So this is nothing but the master data. So here this is the place where we can create business scenarios. Now the next point is, here. Now we click on the data provisioning. Now once you click on this called data provisioning, once we click on the data provisioning, and here once you select the system, click finish. So here you notice SLT. So I'm going to share some details about SLT. Now let me quickly summarize. Now this is HANA Studio. I'll just correlate with the data migration. So how is the data migration done? So this is HANA Studio. So what did we see in the HANA Studio? On the top you have system. Under system, what did we have? Under system, we see there is a catalog and there is content. Now these are two important folders. One is called as catalog and the other one is known as content. Now what is a catalog? A catalog is a collection of schema. What is a schema? Just now we discussed. A schema is a collection of database objects like tables. Now where are these tables stored? Now where do you think these tables are stored? These tables, the primary way to store data is in memory. And these are storing data in columnar fashion. What do you have in content? Content is a collection of package. Now what do you mean by package? Why are we using these packages? We are using these packages in order to organize business scenarios with regards to logistics, with regards to finance, or you can create another package called ECC or another package called CRM. So based on the package, you're trying to organize the business scenarios. This is nothing but the package. So on the package, what are you trying to do? You're trying to create business scenarios. Now who is supplying data to these business scenarios? Who supplies data to these business scenarios? Tables. Now where are these tables? Schema. How did this schema create? How did we create this schema? The schema got created. In here you have SAP system. So how did the schema create? You have an SAP system. And here you have on the target, you have HANA S4 HANA. You have HANA S4 HANA. Now what do you have in between? In between you have SLT, SAP Landscape Transformation, which is data provisioning. What we must do, the first thing that we must do? The first thing that we must do is integrate SAP to SLT and SLT to HANA S/4HANA. Now what is going to happen? Now when you try to integrate this SLT, what are you trying to do? You're trying to establish something called as connection. Now what is this connection? Connection is nothing but to integrate. What you want to integrate? Source. What is the source? SAP. What is the target? HANA S/4HANA. Now the question here is, how are you going to integrate? Now this integration, the other word technically, but we are not bothered, but just I'm trying to tell you, technically this is called as config. It's called as config. A configuration is nothing but to create a connection. A connection is nothing but to integrate source with target. Now this integration is performed in the user interface called a T-code LTRC. What is it known as? LTRC. What is LTRC? LTRC, landscape transformation replication cockpit. This is nothing but a cockpit. Using this T code, I can integrate the source with target by creating a configuration. Whenever you create a configuration, source and targets get integrated in the T code called LTRC. Now please see, I'll go back to a SAP system, and in here you see there are so many tables. Like for example, you see here MARA, VBAP, VBAK, sales company code table, sales organization table, customer master. All these are SAP country related tables. These are system related tables. So this is nothing but, this is the view of the data provisioning. This is the view at the data provisioning. But who integrated this system? Please see, the integration is done. Go to SAP logon and double click on SAP system. Provide the username, which is called best. Provide the password wcapital welcome123 and click enter. Let's click continue. Let us continue with this logon and enter the T code LTRC. LTRC stands for SAP SAP Transformation Replication Cockpit. Click enter. Once you enter, for now I don't see any configuration. You please see SAP Replication Server Cockpit. Okay, let me show you. Now this I'm using the 99 IP address. Let me show you another system quickly where you already have an existing configuration. Let me log into SAP. So quickly I'll show you we have another system where I already created the configuration. Enter the T code LTRC. So here you can see there is a configuration over here. SLT demo, SAP SLT Bharat. Now you see when you create this configuration, it is active and running in the SAP LTRC. Whatever the name that you provide for this configuration, if you go to the HANA Studio, let us go to the HANA Studio. With the same name, automatically a schema got created in the HANA system. So if you give the configuration name, let's say SAP today's date, December 8. The same name, automatically a schema got created. System creates the schema. Now for example, what is the name over here? The name here on the LTRC is SAP SLT Bharat. Now if you would like to see to which system does it point, click on details. Please see here what system it is pointing to. It is pointing to a system called SAP HANA. Now this is real time. Let us go back. Let us see where is the system called SAP HANA. Now please see here you have SAP HANA. Expand the system. Now where do you find schemas? Participants, where do you find schema? The schema is under catalog. Where is catalog? Under system. How did the schema got created? By SLT. In SLT, who created? Configuration created. So if you go to the catalog now, you will find the same name with the schema. Let us go back. Go to the catalog. Expand the schema. Expand the catalog. Let us find for this schema called SAP SLT underscore Bharat. Let's find SAP SLT. I think one of the participants created this one. Please see here you find SAP SLT underscore Bharat. Now even you can open this. When I click on this data provisioning under the quick view, if you click on this, select the system, click finish. Once you click finish, now here once you open this SAP SLT underscore Bharat, now here you can find, now here you will be able to see the name of the tables. If you see these tables, replicate in process, it means that the configuration is successfully created. It means that the integration is done. When you see this table, and if you see the status called replicate in process, it means that the integration is completed. So, whenever you create a configuration with the same name, a schema gets created. In this schema, once the integration is successful, system is going to replicate SAP standard tables like DD02L. Now these are all SAP tables. DD02L, DD02T, DD08L. Now these are all SAP standard tables. Now these tables are automatically replicated by system. Okay, all the participants. So just I'm trying to explain to the participants how this integration or the connection is done. Now, you see, if you go back, you can find different options like load, replicate, stop replication, suspend and resume. Now what I'll do is I will take a separate session for these options because it is going to take some time to explain in detail about the migration. So what I'll do is we'll do it on Monday. On Monday session, I'll start with why are we going to use load? Load is mainly used for non-frequently changing data scenarios like master data. Why are we going to replicate? Replicate is for frequently changing data scenarios. Replicate, stop replication, suspend and resume. So basically what I recommend to participants can go to the Dropbox that will be provided by the backend team, and then you go to the set one materials. You see here you have S4 HANA. Double click on S4 HANA. Please go to this material S4H00. Implementation scenarios S4H100. Now let us go back. Let us go to SAP HANA materials. Now here you have different HANA materials. You can go through HA100, Introduction to SAP HANA. Now in the S4 HANA, if you open this implementation scenarios, so you see here, you can see implementation on Cloud Edition using SLT, system conversion, migration, customer code migration. So there are three ways to S4 HANA migration overview in the implementation scenarios. So we can do with SLT. And also participants can work on different assignments. If you go to the assignments folder, go to the data provisioning, go to SAP landscape transformation. Now here I created a very detailed documentation for each of these scenarios. If you double click on each of these documents, which are very step by step in detail, now here I highlighted creating configuration, click on the data provisioning, and here you can see tables. So everything in detail I've given here, everything step by step for participants to practice. So every exercise that I'm going to do, I already created a detailed documentation for each one of them, where participants can go step by step practice on these assignments. So my recommendation is I encourage participants to work on these assignments over the weekend and just see about these assignments. And on Monday's session, I'm going to completely focus on the data migration. So please do attend on Monday. It's a very interesting session, participants. You'll find it very useful and very informative. So please log in on Monday. Let's meet at 9 p.m. IST to 10 p.m. IST. Thank you very much all the participants to attend today's session. Let's see you on Monday. And if participants would like to talk to the trainer, so I was able to talk to a lot of participants today. I had an interaction with them. If participants would like to have an interaction with the trainer, I recommend participants to fill up the survey form. At the end of the session, you have a survey form. So please fill up the survey form by providing your details like your name, phone number, email, and the question that you would like to ask to the trainer. The backend team will conference call with the trainer and we can communicate with each other. Thank you once again, all the participants. I hope you're able to participants able to understand the introduction to the HANA and the SLT. Thank you so much, all the participants, to joining today's session. I'll see you on Monday. Have a wonderful weekend, a very good morning, and good night. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, all the participants. Thank you. So in order to basically get these documents, you can fill up you can fill up in the survey form. So backend team will get in touch with you, participants. The backend team will get in touch with you, the participants. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.